Well, we need to get into that safe, and I believe we now have a piece of identification, which I don't know why he's going to believe that it's us when he already knows.
What now, monsieur?
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that. A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive.
George, why? Why? Why?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Well, let's take a look at the matchbook. I don't think we've looked at it.
Or a pattern of swirling color and the words Club Alamut.
Well, no, we do know what that is. So, no, we can't actually get into anything, but we know that's his safe. Hello.
Hello again.
Do you know what this is?
Does the name on this matchbook mean anything to you?
Indeed it does, for Alamut was the home of the old man of the mountains. You do not know him?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
Do you recognize this card?
No, I do not.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Should I show him the key? Will he take the key from me? If I do that, and then that'll... Does that... Will he,
What now, monsieur?
Be like, oh my god, you stole it from me.
Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little hook to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
George, no,
monsieur.
George.
The hotel is regularly serviced by an exorcist.
What?
If we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
What?
I suppose you want the key back.
Not especialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation, I won't stop you.
But, so, I stole a key. But then... You... But... I'm so confused. So, we need to... I wonder if we need to go back in there. I wonder if there was something we missed. So we got all the stuff from the pants. Is there anything? Is there still nothing in here? Oh, see, now there's nothing there because they were the other pants. So I was trying to click on those pants for 14 million times, but then it didn't work.
The assassin had been too smart.
Alright, so there's nothing else there. There's nothing in the pants, supposedly. So... I guess the only thing left to do is to go speak to Miss Piermont and be like, hey, Miss Piermont, what's up?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Well, I need to get into a thing.
I found this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
It came from the Club Alamut. It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
I mean, yeah.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has 1,000,000 faces.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of.
Oh.
Follow me, George!
Hey, let's go for more aggressiveness with big lady. Do your worst,
Did
big
you
lady.
place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
What?
One moment, please.
Apparently, she is
I
the
haven't
law.
enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
Voilà, monsieur. Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
But safely back is going to be the tough part because, well, I'm just going to do it now. Because I don't want to go down, show you what happens, and then blah, 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 blah. Either way, we've got to climb out here again, take out the manuscript, and...
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
And you'll see why we have to do that here, and then it falls down the drain. Why we have to do that here in a second. Also, George is very beautifully rendered there. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check, nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
I like it when I get to touch people.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Because cops couldn't do anything to you two because you look so threatening. Anyway, that's why we have to toss a
If
manuscript
the
in, I
manuscript
think.
was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed. I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out.
Back to Nico's... Oh, back in Nico's apartment. I was about to make a joke, but you did it anyway.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Come in, George.
You didn't knock this time. It's like you live here. Well, we can talk about things.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
I feel like you guys are just being assholes to each other.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore.
Whoa!
There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Well, okay, let's get more personal, shall we?
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
Damn. Well, I've got things for you to, look at.
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue, a name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir.
Yeah, souvenir of being in a murderer's room. It's like getting a picture taken at the end of a ride.
I found this in the killer's room.
What is it, a credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
Now, to the meat of the issue.
You're just not going to believe what I found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantar?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades.
Oh, well, okay. Movie!
This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping.
I mean, can we take a look at it?
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Well, we have the thingy here.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
And then we have this.
There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
You could probably get better Wi-Fi there.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. A knight with a crystal ball. There's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
That you want him to be touchy?
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Jeez, George.
Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krön Museum. I'll give you the address.
Do you guys know you're talking without moving your lips? It's just wondering. Just wondering.
I have to go.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Krön Museum.
That's where I'm about to go. To the museum. Also, bye, lady. Bye, lady. Where's the museum? There we go. Hello. Can we museum things in the museum?
The attendant had an air of self-importance and the kind of steely eyes that never seemed to blink.
Well, looky what we have here.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory.
Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Ireland? Well, anyway, what's
Pardon
your
me?
story?
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Well, what do you know about everything?
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on.
Wow, George. Don't be a beehole, okay? Well, that's asking a lot from you, because you're just literally a pure beehole.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
John Denver?
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
Just gonna let you know, escapists aren't the only ones who use that stuff, okay?
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
No way anything could ever get into it. Ever. Never. Ever.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They ask you. I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobineau.
When is that guy going to, like, be here?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
Here we go.
I guess not.
What? What? You're not going to sit there, because he murdered people all over the globe. He is a deadly killer who you should be fearful of. I'm kind of disappointed.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh no, I don't frequent places like that.
Do you recognize this ID pass?
No.
Well, that was pretty easy.
Thanks for your help.
What do we got over here? What's this?
A metal rod attached to the wall was connected to the window.
Ah, that opens that up. Okay.
The totem pole looked distinctly out of place in the setting of the museum.
What am I doing? Okay. What? Alright.
It was an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus with a beautifully painted effigy of its owner on the lid.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
I wouldn't call it a closet.
Closet?
Yeah.
It's a sarcophagus.
So we can open that up, which causes him to go over there and close it. Let's see what happens. Let's just touch it.
As I reached toward the display case, a shrill piping filled the air. I froze, then tried to get myself together and act nonchalantly.
No, monsieur. No et no.
Okay.
No is no. Don't.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flames. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Oh, well. Okay. Do you have anything else to
Pardon
say
me?
about
Oui, monsieur?
the stuff around? Nope.
Thanks for your help.
So we have this, the window, the wall, the sarcophagus over there. Couldn't think of anything to say. Okay, so let's go over here and mess with this again. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Oh, okay. I have an idea of what I'm doing. I need him to walk away. Then I need to flip this. Then I need to come over here. He's gonna go back up. Whoa! Dude, what? What was that? Bro, you're teleporting everywhere. Is he about to teleport again? He is. Hopefully this works. Because the game is being all screwy. There we go. He didn't see a thing.
This is ridiculous. I could be here for hours.
Oh, what are you doing? Well, all right then. Well, I guess I'm leaving. Am I going back to Nico's apartment? Oh, I guess we are going back to Nico's apartment.
Hi. I've been to the Crew Museum.
Did you speak to Lobineau?
No, he wasn't there.
We just had a teleporting guard. That's all. Nothing, no biggie. No big. No whoop.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Well, I learned something too.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marne.
I have heard of Loch Marne. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
No.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marne. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a fourth series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marne must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram.
How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Pegram's dam is important, why don't you visit Loch Marne?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
Time for vacation. Okay.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
It's time to go. Wait, what the hecky? Okay. Oh, we have an arrow, which goes to the aeroport, and we can go to Loch Marne. Sure, let's go there. Why not? A few hours later.
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marne, the castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
No, okay, well, I guess that's interesting enough. We passed there, and now we're here with Mac Devitt's Food, Lounge, Bar, Menu, Weird Windows, a great somebody over there, and a whole bunch of other things. And when we come back, in a box, and a door, and a thing to go in the door. So when we come back, we will check out Ireland and see if we can't get any more clues as to what's going on, or we need to talk to Pegram, wherever he is. Also, I know it's coming up. The dreaded part. The goat. Till then, y'all take care. And of course, have a good one.